Welcome back. It's finally time that I think we jump back on the tractor here. It's probably sat for at least a week and a half, maybe. We haven't really done anything to this thing. I still didn't check the valve lash or any of that stuff, so that needs done. I've ordered some more parts. We should have everything we need at this point. And as you can see, this tire is completely flat. The wheel pretty much has gave out at this point. With that being said, we may not have worked on the tractor, and it's extremely windy out here. But last weekend I did manage to find a set of wheels and tires. Now these are not in the greatest shape. So I managed to get, the same day that I got the seed drill, if you watched that video, if you didn't, you can go back and check that out. But I found a set of these wheels and tires, just 13.6 by 38s. And you can see this rim is completely shot. That's the tube. So they both had calcium in them. This one does not. This tire is in really good shape yet. A lot of tread on here, a lot of tread depth, hardly any cracking on this one in particular. Now we come over to this one. I have drained the calcium out of this one, and it's completely, there's no air in it. So the cracks appear worse because the sidewall is not bulged out now, so these kind of opened up a little bit more than they would typically have. And this wheel is not in the best shape, but it's not in the worst shape either. So the tube's right there. Again, it's not in the best. I'm thinking I might just try and pump this up, try and get the remaining little bit of calcium that's in there out, pump this up, put air in it, and just try and throw this tire on for the time being to get me by. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure how well that's gonna work or not, just because of the shape that the wheel is in and the shape that the tire is in. But I also managed to get this. This wheel is actually in really good shape. I think they burned the tire off, judging by the way it looks. So this is a 12-inch wide by 38-inch double bevel wheel, which is what we need to match those. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks actually a lot bigger than what these ones are, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's hard telling. So the plan is to put the 13x6 on here, but it's going to take a little bit more time to do that. So hopefully I can run that one this year, and then over winter I can, maybe swap to that one. So we should have everything that we need in order to do what we have to do to swap everything over. So the contents in here: new muffler, which that doesn't even look painted, that more so looks just like primer. I don't know. But anyway, there's that, which I'm gonna like because I need a muffler on here. I got a voltage regulator. I don't know that I needed it, but they're cheap. This is like 25 bucks. The water pump gasket. And then we got a whole tune-up kit, which is gonna have all of our, I think it has a cap, rotor, stuff like that, and then all of our spark plugs. And then we have a new water pump. Well, I didn't know that it came with a gasket. Oh, whatever. I don't know, maybe I missed that. I don't know, this gasket is different from this one. I don't know. I'll dig into that. There's all the plugs. Yeah, it definitely didn't show that it came with all this stuff. Definitely did not. So there's that. And a nice new water pump. Look at that. Love it. Definitely feels better than the old one, actually. So yeah, that's cool. And that actually came with a new plate too. Again, none of that was specified. Should be cleaned up enough where the water pump mounts fast. So I'm gonna get the gasket and the new water pump. We'll put that on, get that all tightened up, and then we can try and get our bracket and everything on there. I think I forgot to do it this week. I meant to and totally forgot about it, but the generator, I'm thinking I might just get rebuilt. I don't know that it's bad, but again, it doesn't hurt while it's off. But first, I gotta put all these plugs in. And unfortunately, I had to reuse a plug, which looks dumb, out of the old one because the one that they sent, the threads are really weird, and you might be able to see it right there. They're like triangular. They go up and down. And so something wasn't made right with that plug. Water pump is on. I love it. It's just something about new parts. Which means I can mount this pulley on there now too. And I like that they have different holes. The other one only had 4 holes, where this one has, you know, multiple. So for some reason, which should never happen, but if some reason it gets stripped, you just rotate it to the next set. Oh, kind of neat. Just look at how crooked this tractor is sitting right now because of that tire being flat. It's definitely throwing everything off. It looks like something's just completely out of whack, but it's just that. Meanwhile, the pulley is mounted, so we should be good there. Should be good with everything in the water pump. Technically, I could put the thermostat in here and put that assembly all together. And I really should check the valve lash. I don't know why I've been putting that off. Push rod cover we got cleaned up pretty nice for the most part compared to what it did look like. Got the crankcase vent back on. We're making some progress. I did manage to I had to sand off the paint. And I don't know how well the camera will pick that up, but I did manage to find all the tick marks and the degrees mounted on there. So for timing purposes and everything else, that's gonna make things a lot easier. So I don't think I'm gonna jump on doing the valve lash right now. I think I'm gonna just try and, you know, continue working around some of this other stuff that should have been put on a little while ago, like the stuff for the steering. There's that cover down here, which I think just covers up the power steering pump. I think that's really the only purpose of that. So we'll get those 2 things thrown on there yet, and maybe some small other things that I know we have to do, which would be just like these hydraulic fittings in the back. Put those on, get those plumbed in. Just minor little things. Well, that wasn't too bad at all, getting all that stuff put back together. I'm not really sure why they have a pan right there for, like I said, the power steering pump. I mean, I don't really know what's gonna come up and hit it, but I guess there could be stuff. You know, you're going through corn stubble or whatever the case may be. A stick could come up and whack it. I don't know. Anyway, that wasn't too hard to mount all that stuff. It took longer to clean everything up than anything. So that should be done. And we managed to get the hydraulic fittings in the back here installed, which there again, very simple, very minor. So pretty much at this point, there's not a whole lot left to do as far as underneath goes. I do have the new thermostat, could put that in. A lot of the stuff up front here could be put back on. I do have to rebuild the carburetor yet as well. But the next plan of attack, and I think we're gonna worry about that on the next video, we're gonna just check the timing on everything, which we didn't take the crank or the cam or anything out. But, you know, valve timing, valve lash, all that stuff, I just want to be sure. And then we should be able to adjust the valve lash and go from there. Then everything can start to be assembled to the point where we can put the valve cover on, exhaust manifold, intake manifold, all that, which is all one assembly, can go on carburetor. You know, then at that point, it's going to start moving pretty quick. And we still have to drain all the oil, the high tran, and all that stuff out. But that's a whole nother thing. Well, this video is probably a little bit shorter than most, or at least it seemed that way. But I think that's where we're gonna stop for right now. I gotta figure some stuff out in the manuals because the owner's manual and the service manual kind of say two different things on certain things. So I wanna verify a lot of that stuff, and then we can begin reassembly with kind of the rest of the engine and everything up front. Put the radiator in and go from there. I hope you guys are enjoying. Hope you enjoyed today's video. There's a lot of stuff coming. Planting season's just around the corner. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.